well and serve others. Welcome, Steve.
Well, these lights are bright. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Hopefully we can. Oh, thank you. As a counsellor, I'm used to people telling me their thoughts, their inner thoughts, those that reside inside our heads that we rarely share with others. That inner voice that is constantly chattering, frequently catastrophizing, and often cruel, telling us we're not worthy or good enough, and it's simply wrong. The stories we tell ourselves about ourselves directly impact the level of happiness. And if we can tell ourselves better, kinder, more forgiving, compassionate stories, not only do we improve our level of happiness, but also our mental well-being. Some of these stories we've held on to for years. Take John, a man in his late 40s, who told me that he has told himself all his life that he must have been a really bad little child because his birth mother gave him up for adoption not once, but twice. And after John had finished telling his story, I repeated it back to him, but this time with compassion. And when I finished, John looked up, chuckled and said, I think I prefer your version over mine. I think I can work with that. I talk about happiness management in the same way as others talk about anger management. In fact, happiness management is the big brother to anger management. Anger management teaches us how to put out fires. Happiness management teaches us how not to start them. If I were to ask you, do you want to be happy? I'm sure that's a really easy yes. But what if I was to ask you, what do you do in order to be happy? That might be a more difficult question to answer. And yet, there's so much more we can do to improve our level of happiness. There's even a field of psychology called positive psychology that is dedicated to using research, scientific data, and analysis to work out what truly makes us happy. Happy people have better lives, better relationships, less stress. They even live longer, to name just a few of the benefits of practicing happiness. A story I hold on to, a story that is dear to me, is a memory I have of having a coffee with my wife one Saturday morning. And my wife of 30 years and I were talking about things that were changing. Our kids, Poppy and Cam, had moved out to go to university. And what Anne said to me kind of came out of the blue, but was also very true. It would be okay if one of us was to die now. It's not like our kids need us. And she was right. We had done the hard work of child rearing as parents, and our kids were now young adults, and we were enjoying the next phase of parenthood, of parenting our adult children. Life was good. Things were good. I even loved my job. I was a director of a large charity in the Lower Mainland, and my main responsibility was to build a database system so that the community social services agencies throughout the province could improve their quality of service. I was even awarded the Most Inspiring Social Worker of the Year award from the University of British Columbia Social Work Department and the BC Association of Social Workers. Things were looking up. What could possibly go wrong? Turns out a great deal. That December, Anne was diagnosed with kidney cancer. The week before Christmas, our beloved family dog died. And 3 short months later, Anne died. 3 days after that, my dad died. And shortly after that, I had a house fire. I remember standing outside my house, looking as the firefighters were emptying one of my rooms. You know that room you have where you shove stuff in and then you know you're going to go back to sort it out but never do? They were taking things out of there, item by item, and placing them on the driveway. It felt like they were doing this so that the onlookers and the bystanders could judge me. I remember turning to my friend Paul, and I said, I honestly believe things can only get better from here. And this is the part of the story where I tell you that like a phoenix from the ashes, I rose up and lived happily ever after. I think that would be a fairy tale and not a TED Talk. It also assumes that happiness is this state that you arrive at and then live happily ever after. Life is not that easy. Life is not fair. Life can be hard and difficult, and some days the best we can hope for is that we sit in our pain and suffering or our grief and loss and wonder if things can get better. When I returned to work, the agency was changing direction. I had new responsibilities, and I wasn't getting the joy or excitement or the meaning and the purposeful work that it used to be. I was not happy, so I left. I felt lost. I had no job, I had no purpose, and was still right. My kids still didn't need me. At best, I was a cheerleader on the sidelines for them. This was a dark time for me. And I fell into alcohol and counselling. The local charity needed an addictions counsellor. And what I learned, what I found out there, may be surprising, even shocking for some of you. People in their sobriety taught me how to be happy. The true heroes of my story are those people that practice building a better, happier life for themselves. These all too often forgotten heroes are doing the work that is needed. They start making peace with their past, telling themselves better, kinder, more forgiving, compassionate stories, and practice gratitude daily. I've realized that people do not stop drinking by stopping drinking. People stop drinking by building a better, happier life for themselves. And it was this idea that inspired me to start a not-for-profit society called Happiness Management Society, a society dedicated to supporting people to build a better, happier life so that they can improve their mental well-being. The society also draws on a great deal of work from the field of positive psychology. Laurie Santos from Yale University, a renowned expert on happiness, reports that gratitude exercises work because in as little as 14 days, you can measurably improve people's level of happiness. Gratitude exercises work because we recognize those small little wins that otherwise would go unnoticed. And the most common way to do a gratitude exercise is to do a gratitude journal, be it in your phone or in a book. But the purpose is to write 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for every day. My friends will tell you that I'm a talker, not a writer. And so my gratitude exercise is one where I talk. And I attach it to tasks that I do throughout the day, such as making my coffee or walking the dogs. I'm happy that Anne is still right. My kids, Cam and Poppy, who are now 28 and 30, still don't need me. I'm even happier that my kids absolutely want to be an integral part of my life because I now also have a new partner, Erica. I enjoyed parenting so much the first time round that Erica and I now have a 3-year-old son, Elliot, and we are living our happiest lives. This evening is all about change, And I want to invite you all to do the change that the heroes of my story do, which is build a better, happier life for themselves. They do this by not listening to that inner voice when it is constantly chattering, frequently catastrophizing, and often cruel. And they also practice gratitude. Change can be hard work. Happiness is hard work, but it's better than the alternative. Thank you.